to turn my volume down. If you are here before me, I am heading your way. Technology always means we need to click some extra buttons to meet you where you are, which is in the live video. But trust me, I am on the way. I can find the video. Here we are. And welcome, welcome everybody. So just let me adjust my little camera. So I'm just going to pop in here my website because I always forget to do it. Good morning, Patricia. Good morning, everybody. Please, yes, please try that again. Please feel free to say good morning when you arrive. It's always lovely to see who's on the call with me and to welcome you in. I'll even press send on that little thing there. What to say? So I am Lorna Hollinger. I run the Australian Tapping Institute here in Sydney, Australia. My primary program is, I feel a bit muddled this morning. My primary program is I train EFT practitioners and life coaches, pretty much to do kind of what I do. A number of years ago, I was a practitioner and I saw private clients and I did a lot of private client work. When my marriage started to fall apart, I wanted a practitioner who I could work with so I could do EFT with somebody else who could help me through and support me through that. And I couldn't find anyone that I was happy to work with. So for me, that just went, let's go grow your own. So once I got through the divorce and got through that sorted, I went, okay, let's go and make more practitioners. So people like me and you don't have to get to a stage where we go, I'd really like some support from a practitioner. I'd really like to do some work with them, but I can't find one. So I decided to go and grow my own. So the flagship program here at Australian Tapping Institute is the training of EFT practitioners. Good morning to everyone. So Rose and Jody, Kylie, Beck, fantastic to have you here with me. Now, as you'll see, the topic that I have chosen for today is increasing your financial abundance. Now, as usual, I write a class for you each week so that we've actually got something a little bit structured and format to go through. If you have other topics you would like me to cover off on, this is the time where I ask you to feel free to pop it into a private message to me, Lorna Hollinger, or the Australian Tapping Institute. Don't pop it into the Spiritual Events Directory messenger space because that's Sarah's space and she ends up with just way too many messages in there to manage that. So if you've got a topic you'd like us to cover off, every morning, Monday morning, 9:30 Sydney time I'm here. It's the same time for whatever time it is for you, wherever you are in the world. Now, the very first post is my website. On the top right-hand side of the website, there is a link there and it says Home Study Programs. If you wanted to go and get some of my free tapping programs, there is the Self-Love Project. It is my gift to you if you would like it, and the Your Life by Design. The tapping one, Self-Love Project's lots and lots of tapping in it. The other one is a mix of tapping and a mix of some coaching, originally designed for our practitioners so they could get a bit of a feel for what a practitioner and a coach does. But my gift to you, if you would like to go ahead and download any of those. Our only request in this call is if you have a question, put a capital Q in the beginning of it. Quite often as a presenter, you're trying to manage here and conduct a class and you've got questions coming through. So if you put a Q in it, I know that it's a question for me about EFT tapping or about the topic or about something that I can help you with. So that's my only request. So let's get into it. Good morning again, everybody. Fabulous to have you here. Let's work out how we're going to increase your financial abundance. So as we always do, let's get grounded into our space and let's do some tapping. If you're new to tapping, just follow along. Just tap in the same places that I'm tapping. Just follow along with me. Even though part of me isn't grounded and present, I'm going to choose to feel grounded right now. Even though part of me is somewhere else and my mind feels scattered, I'm going to choose to love and accept who I am. Even though I've got so many other things to do and they all feel like priority, I'm going to choose to give myself this time and in this space. So through the tapping points, once again, I don't tend to say the points. If you're used to tapping and you notice I miss the underarm, that's on purpose. Here in Australia, hot and sweaty, I worked with big busted women to start with. It was very uncomfortable to ask someone to reach around when they couldn't reach, so I kind of just dropped it off. So let's go and just tap through the other points. I'm just not grounded. There's too much going on. There's just too much going on for me. I can't stop thinking. It's really hard to focus on a call. I just have so many other things to do. Too much to do. I'm going to choose to let go. I'm going to choose to feel present. Feeling more and more present. More and more grounded. I choose to feel grounded now. I choose to feel safe now. I feel safe and grounded. I choose to feel present now. Feeling present and grounded. More and more present. More and more grounded. Choose to feel grounded now. Choose to feel safe and grounded. I feel so safe and so grounded. Oops, I change the page. I give myself permission to be here. Totally here. In this present moment. This is my time. I give myself my time. Feeling safe and grounded. Permission to be here for me. So lovely. Time to stop tapping. Now, as usual, I want you to have a journal or pen and paper when you're doing this call with me. I want it to be an interactive call. I actually want you to do some of the work in the call. So I have a wee bit of a croaky throat this morning. So I want you to actually do some of the work in the call. I don't want this to be something you're just listening to or something you're doing while you're doing something else. Give yourself the space and do the tapping and do the work. It's the best place to do it because you're here with us and we're all in a space together. So in your journal, let's start talking about what is your story with money. So when we're talking financial abundance, we're not just talking everywhere abundance. We're actually specifically talking about money and talking about financial abundance this morning. Not always someone's favorite topic. Oh, excuse me. Not always everyone's favorite topic to talk about money. It has a bit of a taboo around it. So we're going to look a little bit about what is your money story. So pen and paper, journal out. Let's start looking at your story, the patterns you have around money, the beliefs you have around money, because all of those drive your unconscious decisions. So on a daily basis, a huge amount of them are impacted by your actual experience and your actual belief systems around money, whether you're worthy to get financial abundance, whether you deserve it, whether you've done something wrong. I hear a lot of people, it comes up that you can't be a good person and have money. You can't be spiritual and have money. A whole lot of rich people have a whole lot of ideas about rich people and money and what that means about those people. We want to take away a lot of those because when you've got those patterns running and that's your ideas and your beliefs, it's really hard for you to then accept a whole lot of financial abundance into your life when it then puts you into the category of all the people you don't think are good people because they've got money. So we want to clear a lot of this away. So what are some typical stresses with money? So it's a journal out. Let's start writing some of them down for you. Is it your bills? Is it monthly bills and accounts that turn up? If you're running a business, it could be the payroll. You've got to pay other people. You're responsible for making sure other people have got finances coming into their space. Is it the level of income you've got? Is it your level of current income compared to your expenses? What are your financial triggers? For some people, it's financial responsibility. They may be in a partnership and they're still the one looking after all the money. What are some of the stresses and some of the triggers for you around money? Now have a look at this list. On a rating of say 0 to 10, what sort of intensity do you feel around your list? Is it a 1 or a 2? Is it a 5 or a 6? Feel into your body and feel the stress level from 0 to 10, 10 being the highest and 0 being no impact, on how you feel about this. When I start to ask these questions, how do I feel about this? How do I feel about this list? And you're noticing your body where the stress level comes in. What does this remind you of? The stress, the thoughts, the feelings in your body, what does it remind you of? What happened? When did this happen before? When did this pattern of money, when did this feeling of how you feel currently now when you think about your money story, and when you think about what it reminds you of, when did it happen before? Is this a pattern for you? Do you have this regularly? Notice we're starting to drill down a little bit further into this story of yours. When do you expect it to happen again? When do you expect it to happen again? How does this feel in my body? And now I'm going to do at the end of the call, I'm going to actually pop these questions into the chat box here. It's on a different document. I can't quite do it now for you, but so to let you actually go through the questions later on if you want to take them in depth. How does my body feel? How does your body feel 0 to 10 right now when you're looking at that money story list that you've written? How does it feel? Do you feel unsafe? Because so much of our stuff comes through, and it comes through as a feeling of unsafety. Thanks, Patricia. She's just popped in the chat box. She's got a level 5 to 7. So it tells us that Patricia's got some level of intensity. I'm fairly certain the rest of you do have as well. It's pretty rare as us as humans not to have some level of impact around money, financial abundance, financial wealth, the feelings of whether we deserve it, whether we don't. Not uncommon at all. So write down your feeling 0 to 10. All right, morning, Mandy. Welcome to our call. So just remember, okay? So let's do some tapping. Now you've written that down. Let's do some tapping on this, okay? Now we don't go back to the karate chop point. We go back to just our space on our, oops, let me turn my page. All these financial triggers, all the stress, all of these triggers, I get so overwhelmed. I feel so powerless about that. Like there's nothing I can do. Powerless and overwhelmed. Powerless and overwhelmed about my money story. All these financial triggers. All of this stress. All of my triggers. They're in a list. I've written them down. Or I've at least made notes. Or I know them in my head. My financial triggers, all my stress, feeling very, very powerless, feeling very overwhelmed, feeling very overwhelmed about my money story, very stressed about my bills, very stressed about my finances, very stressed about how much I earn and how many bills come in and how I'm going to pay it and what's in my bank account, what my salary is, what my income is. I'm feeling powerless. I'm feeling powerless. Feeling quite powerless. My financial stress about all of my triggers. My financial stress about all of my triggers. Alrighty. So if you look back at that statement and look back at your numbers, when I start to ask the questions about your actual triggers that you wrote, 0 to 10 again, see how far we've got it to come down. How do you feel about this? What does this remind you of? When has this happened before? Is this a pattern for you? When do you expect it to happen again? What are you feeling in your body? And how do you feel unsafe when this happens? Most of our triggers for most of us humans come from a lack of safety. And while that may sound like a little bit of an out there statement for many of you, when you start to drill down to what your true money is, what your blocks to financial abundance, and financial abundance could be anything from I'd like to go and get a job that's high paying, but I don't think I can. I don't think I'm worthy of it. I can't ask other people for money if I need to go and borrow money or I need to get some other money coming in. I can't ask for a pay rise. I can't start my business and I can't ask people to pay me for my services or my product. All of those things come into play when we start to talk financial abundance. It's not just about how much I'm worth. There are so many other little triggers that are in there, and I want this class to help you to pull some of it out. So now that you've got another number, 0 to 7, let's see if we can get it down a little bit further, and let's go just do one more round of tapping on this financial stress. My financial trigger, it brings me stress. I feel overwhelmed. I feel anxious. All the responsibilities around money. All of my responsibilities around money. I'm always responsible. I'd like to not be responsible. I'd like someone else to be responsible for once. All my financial triggers. When I think about my income, I get more stressed. I get more anxious. Feeling powerless. Feeling anxious. Feeling worried. Anxious and worried. All this stress. All the financial stuff going on for me. Feeling powerless. When I look at my bills, when I look at my income, when I look at my job, my expenses versus my income, my expenses. Maybe it's time for me to start to release some of the stress around it. Maybe some of the stress is holding it in place. Maybe it's factual, that's the income I earn. But does my stress help that? Does my stress help me to manage my money any better? Probably not. Does stressing about my bills help them get paid any better? Any earlier? Any quicker? Probably not. It's time to release some of this stress. Time to release some of this anxiety. Time to release some of it. I get that some of this is my self-worth. Just not sure what to do about it. I still feel a bit powerless, but I'm going to try and let go of that. I'm going to let go of that overwhelm. I'm going to let go of that little voice in my head that's on repeat. I'm going to commit today to do a little bit of something about my financial abundance. Not that I can instantly get money in my account, but I can stop stressing. I can stop stressing about this. When I stop stressing, I can make better choices. When I'm not anxious, I can think better, clearer, and maybe take steps to overcome some of my powerlessness. All the voices in my head, some say I'm not good enough. I'm going to work through that, work through all of this. I'm going to work through it all, release all my patterns of why I think I'm not good enough to get the financial abundance that I want. Work through all the blocks to earning the money that I know that I want. Releasing those blocks, releasing my limits, releasing this fear, stepping through this fear. I don't need to be powerless. I can take my power back. I don't need to be overwhelmed. I can do this step by step. I can release these thoughts. I can release these feelings. Releasing the thoughts, releasing my feelings. Acknowledge them, release them, acknowledge them, and release them, and acknowledge them and release them. Oh, beautiful. That's stop tapping. Let's go back to our original statements. I'm hopeful for everyone that they have been brought down. Our rating of a 0 to 10 is what I'm talking about. If yours hasn't, my guess is that there's other triggers coming up. There's other things in the background that are holding this in place. Remember, as a class, I can do this on a very global space. I can help people in a very global space. I'll write a class for you. But if you have very, very specific things, I'd ask you to continue to look through these questions. I said I'll put them in the chat box at the end, and ask yourself the questions and do some extra tapping in this after the class. Don't just make this a one-off. Oh, Michelle, fantastic. From a 10 to a 3. That is amazing. Well done, you. Anyone else who's had drops, please pop them into the chat box. Everyone else would like to know. I said if yours hasn't dropped or it's spiked, that does tell me that there's other things at play in here. My words may not have been exactly the right words for you, because remember, this is a very global space. We're doing group tapping. But if when they do hit the mark and they are your words, your number should start to drop down. So great work on everyone who has had a drop and a reduction. Alrighty, so let's continue on with the class. All right, our present relationship with money. I know the relationship I had with money over many, many years. I came from a reasonably poor family here in Australia. We were an immigrant family. My family struggled to put money together. They struggled to provide a home for us as children. They bought a home. My mum died when I was quite young. So a whole lot of things put a lot of financial stress onto my family. So my patterning would have been that there wasn't a lot of money, and there was not a lot of money. Money had to be protected. You couldn't have things that you wanted because there was never enough. No one was ever earning enough. The money just seemed to go. And I had to recognize that was my family patterning. Yours could be similar. It could be very, very different. But either way, your money pattern and the programming you've got in your household is generally what runs a lot of our money patterns. Now, some of us, great, at an early age, we break out of the patterns. Some of us don't do it till we're a little bit older. So there's 3 main areas I think that our patterning for money comes from. One, particularly our parents, which is or who our caregivers are, who we live with, which is the conversation that happened around money. Society and community. I said earlier, I hear a lot from people about being spiritual and earning money, or being a good person and earning lots of money, and the whole idea of, I suppose, a stereotyping of what people with money are in terms of not being nice. A lot of that plays out. And the other is our personal experiences, the experiences we've physically had with money, and how well we've managed it, how well we haven't managed it, and perhaps some of the ways that we've looked after money, or it's ran through our fingers as for another expression. I'm so tongue-tied this morning. So let's look at our parents, our home, our caregivers, whoever you lived with, however that language is in for you. It's about who you lived with. Is it their stress around money? Have you been carrying on their stress around money? So what they thought about money, the conversations they had about money, God, how many of us grew up on, money doesn't grow on trees, which I always question, because money used to be paper, So yeah, kind of, that didn't get me any good points with my mum when I pointed that out. But there's an abundance. Was there fighting around money? Was there joy around money? Was there stress around money? Was there arguments about money? Or was there a whole abundance around money? Those stories that happen in the family that you grew up in, they're the ones that impact us, because they're your money story. Was there lots of money but somebody wouldn't give you access to it? Did you have to perform and behave in a certain way for one of your parents to give you pocket money, to give you an allowance? Did it get withheld when you didn't behave? Was there a ranking system? Were you in a family where they stuck, stars on a board and competed you against your brothers and sisters to get money? All of those things make up your money story. They're all tappable points. They're all tappable responses from you that you can do after the call. But just know that each and every one of those is an actual money story trigger for you. And those money stories can get carried from generation to generation. And it's particularly what we heard growing up. I do apologize for my tickly throat this morning. So let's go and do some more tapping, which is what we came for. Let's do some more tapping around this conversations that happened in our home. Now I'm going to use the word parents, but make it to be whoever you grew up with, whoever was the family member, the parents you grew up with, whatever sort of family you lived in that had a money story. All this tension around money. All this tension around money and my family. All of these beliefs that I learned them all from my family. All this tension around money. There was always stress around money when I grew up. All this stress around money. All the tension I felt around money. The conversations never seemed pleasant. All of these beliefs. All of these patterns. They ran through my whole family. Stress around money. Stress around growing up with money. Stress around growing up without money. The conversations about money. There was never enough. And not thinking there was never enough triggered my safety. Triggered my thoughts of my safety. Triggered my thoughts. Money never quite felt safe to me. It never felt safe. Oops. Was there ever enough? Was there not enough? Was there plenty? Did I have to do things to earn it? Did I have to behave in a certain way? Did I have to do a certain thing? All of these triggers. All of these triggers. My family pattern around money. My family pattern around money. All of this patterning. All around money. But I was just a kid. It felt confused. Still does now. There's all this tension and stress all around money. All the things that used to get said. All the things that happened. I didn't know this was my money story. Been carrying it around for so long. Stress and tension around money. Stress and tension around money. The abundance of money. My lack of money. Their money. What I had to do to earn the money. What did I have to compromise? What have I had to give up? All these patterns. All of these patterns. All of these patterns. But I'm ready to let that go. I'm ready to recognize it's not my pattern. Ready to recognize it's someone else's pattern. And I'm going to let go of it. It's an imprint from my family. It's a belief from my family. It doesn't need to be mine. I'm going to release the imprint. I'm going to release this imprint. What they thought, what they believe, what was their life and their reality doesn't need to be mine. Releasing this imprint. All the stress that I have, all the stress around money, all from my childhood, my family's stress around money. I took it all to be my stress. I'm going to be releasing my family's stress around money. I'm even going to release my grandparents' stress around money. I'm going to release my ancestors' stress around money. Been carrying it for so long. It's not my stuff. It's not my belief anymore. I'm going to choose to release this all the residual stress around it. Releasing my old patterns around money, my old limits around money. I'm going to release it all. Release it all. It's not mine. I don't have to believe it anymore. I'm going to let it all go. I'm going to let it all go. It's safe for me to let it go. It's time for me to let it go. This isn't even my stuff. It's their stuff. It's their patterning. I'm letting it go. I'm going to let it go. I have let it go. I have let it go. I have let it go. Not mine anymore. And I have let it go. Lovely. Take a lovely big deep breath. And I'm hoping like me, you feel once you start tapping more and more and more of this feeling of stuff moving in your body just happens. More of the energy that's moving. I explain it as it feels like the blood's moving in my veins. Whatever it is for you, get to notice and recognize the feelings in your body as your movement and your energy circuitry starts to shift on. So the next space and next area that does tend to keep a lot of patterning and hold a lot of money patterning is our social groups, our society groups, our community groups. There is an expression, I'm sure it's a global expression, that, you know, your finances or your money is made up by the 5 people you spend the most time with, or something like that. I know it's meant to be a motivating thing, and it's meant to be about shifting who you spend time with to make sure the people you spend quality conversations with hold the same values as you, or are sort of earning in the same brackets as you, and things like that. While I'm not a fan of the expression itself, what I recognize is when you start to hang out with people who have money stories that are negative like yours, or money stories that are, you can't make money, you can't get money, you don't deserve money, it's really hard to make money. To me, those sorts of people are going to have much more of a negative impact than the whole what's in your bank balance. To me, it's about the conversations that are had around you. It's the conversations you agree with. It's the conversations you buy in, and the conversations that you have. That's where that expression to me has a lot of impact. So if you hang out with people in sporting groups, there might be church groups, there might be social groups. There's also other influences from the media and TV and socializing, social media. I don't believe our children are necessarily taught in bank account space in school how to manage money really well. So there's a whole range of stuff that all formed up all these conversations that we're all engaged in that we don't realize holds our money story stuck. So if you're in a business and you're earning loads more money than your peers and your friends and people you hang out with, that's going to have a bit of an impact. Same as when you in groups where you're wanting to push your career and you're wanting to get more promotions and you want to earn more money. People in your family may not be happy about that. They may start to talk about, you think you're too good for yourself and you think you're better than us. All of those sorts of conversations all feed into your money story. So many of them have, as I said earlier, people have spirituality sort of stuff. I can't be spiritual, I can't be wealthy. People who have loads of money aren't really nice people. We have a whole lot of beliefs that we've created around people and what the money story is, believing in where we are living and who we live with. So let's go and do some more tapping. And I'm going to use the word spiritual, but I'm not necessarily meaning, those. I don't want to exclude people who don't believe in God. Is more my point. Spiritual to me is about worldly, and it's about being kind, and it's about being nice, and it's about being a nice person. This belief that isn't spiritual, this belief around money that I have, I wonder where I learned it. I wonder where I heard it first. Can I be a good person with money? Part of me feels that it is okay to do that. Part of me feels that it's not okay to do that. I've heard so many statements. Money is the root of all evil. Rich people are not nice. Rich people are greedy. Wealthy people are whatever. People who have great careers are stuck up. Whatever they are for you. Whatever they are for me. I've taken them on. Part of me now believes it. Can you be spiritual and have money? Can you be nice and have money? Can you be kind and have money? Can you have a great career without changing your personality? Can you have money? Can you be good and be rich? I want to be rich. I want to be financially abundant. I want to have the finances that I want. I want to choose how much I have. What's worthwhile for me? I want to choose it. I want to have the money that I want, the abundance that I want, and for no one else's reasons other than my own. This is what I want. This is what I want. Some days I want to be rich, and other days I don't. I think it's bad to be rich. I think it triggers so many other things in me. Conflicting beliefs, conflicting beliefs, conflicting beliefs. Conflicting beliefs about my money, about the money I want to earn, my own money story, my own money story. What is my story? My own money story. What is my story? I believe my own story. I believe my own story, my own money story. I take money and I believe my own story. I have a negative story around money. I control my money story when it's in my hands. All this story around money. I want money. I deserve abundance. I deserve finances. I need more money because I've got to make it spiritual. I've got to make it worthwhile. I've got to make it something good. I deserve money. I deserve money. I deserve what I want. I deserve the finances. I deserve the finances. Releasing my money story. Releasing my money story. All the things that I've heard, all the things that I've believed, I can change it. I can change it in an instant. I can release it now. I can release it now. I can be a good person and still earn all this money. I can be a good person and earn what I like. It's not anyone else's business. It's no one else's business what I have. It's no one else's business what I earn. It's no one else's business what I allow to flow in. I allow it to flow in. Money for me can be neutral. Money is flow. Money, like so many other things, is a form of flow. It flows in and it flows out. And it flows in and it flows out. If I could have that as part of my money story, instead of the other stuff, the old patterning, let it go, let it go. Money is flow. I can allow it to flow. I can allow it to flow. Flowing in, flowing out. Flowing in, flowing out. Because I am worthy. I am worthy. I am worthy. I am worthy. So once again, take a big deep breath. Feel again the flow in the body and the shift in the movement with you. Now, the third space I think that we get our money story coming in from is our personal experiences. This is about the decisions you make around money about yourself. It's highly, highly related to the critical voice in your head. That little voice that says you're not good enough, the little voice that says you can't do this, the little voice that says as if you could have that, the little voice that says as if you should have that, is the little voice that just constantly has the little niggle, 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 chatters in your head that indicates something's out of reach for you, that you can't have it, that you can't deserve it, that you shouldn't buy it. I had a friend a number of years ago and his money story was so foreign to me when I met him. He was a grown man, so he was in his 50s by this stage. This man wouldn't and hadn't even ever bought himself a chocolate bar. He loved chocolate. He absolutely loved it. But he'd grown up in a family where it was so ingrained, you don't buy yourself things, you're not worth it. And it was really sad to see this 50-year-old man that had never gone and bought a bar of chocolate for himself, because that definitely was about for him a lack of worthiness. Yep, Georgina, let those tears come. Everyone who's saying they've got tears and they've got the emotions come up, I'm going to suggest you please just let them come. Spend this session, spend this time with me and allow these emotions to come up. You're feeling them and they're real anyway. Allow them the space to come up. Don't shove them back down. Don't pack them back down. We're going to continue with the tapping, so we're going to be able to clear more of it out. So this part of our personal experience is definitely about that more, the critical voice in your head, the conversation you have with your head, in your own head, and the thoughts and feelings you have about yourself. All right, so let's continue on and let's do some more tapping. And remember, this is about your personal experiences. We're going to go real global here. That thing that happened around money. What I decided about myself. The decision I made about myself because of that. And that money. That I am a spender or I am a saver. I am good with money or that I am bad with money. I can't hold on to money. I save too much. I spend too much. I don't even enjoy my money. I can't enjoy my money. or I enjoy money too much. All my beliefs around money. All of the originating events around money. What happened to make me feel this way? Can I find the event? Can I find the memory? Can I find the event? Can I find the memory? The originating events. What I made it mean about me. Those originating events. What I made it mean. Can I find the event? Can I find the event that makes me feel this way? Can I find that event? The event with the money and the memories. The money and all my memories. My money and my memories. I'm going to release it now. I'm going to release it as flow. I am going to let go of my money story. I'm going to rewire my thoughts around money. I'm going to let it go. I'm going to release it. The story may not have been mine. The story may have been somebody else's. The story was somebody else's. From my ancestors, from my family, grandparents, siblings, aunts and uncles, extended family, or the things they said about money, or the things they said about me and money. I can let it go. I can change my beliefs. I can change them right now. I can let go of that event. I can let go of that event. What it meant, I can let go of. What it sounded like, I can let go of. What it felt like, I can let go of. It feels safe now as an adult to let it go. It actually feels safe as an adult to let it go. It feels safe as an adult to let it go. And I'm letting it go. I am letting it go. I am letting it go. I am letting it go. I'm going to form better beliefs, new beliefs. I'm going to write down my beliefs, all around money, all about money. I'm neither bad, I'm neither good. Money is flow. I don't need to have I'm good with money. I don't need to say I'm bad with money. Money is all about flow. Money is all about flow. Just flow. And I can do flow. My beliefs around money. My beliefs around money. Let it be flow. Let it go. And let it be flow. So take some big, deep breaths while we finish our tapping. And let's go back to some of our original questions that we started off with. And let's see where you've got your intensity down to. Our original sort of stresses we were talking about was on bills. It was on payroll if you were owning a company. It was your level of income and how it relates to your expenses, perhaps. It may be the financial responsibilities that you feel. Are you responsible for the finances in your home still? It could be all around those. And our intensity level we talked about was a 0 to 10, 0 being low, 10 being quite intense. How do you feel about your triggers for your financials? What does it remind you of? When has this happened before? Is this a pattern for you? When do you expect it to happen again? And when does your body feel it? How does your body feel it? Do you feel unsafe when you find those triggers from your financial patterning, your financial responsibilities, or your level of income, or how it relates to your expenses, or your payroll if you're running a company, you're responsible for other people, maybe even just as a family person, you've got to balance the bills and balance all the finances for you and another partner, because the other partner is the one whose money's going in and you've got to manage it for both of you. Is it the bills that come in? Is it the actual expenses that come in? All of the extra expenses, where does the money come from? Tap in and see what your rating is down to. Some of you started quite high. I think we had someone started at a 10. Others were sitting up around a 7 and an 8. From a 0 to 10 rating, work out after we've done this sort of tapping where yours sits. Now, I said I'm going to put the questions into the question box when I finish the class. The ID being that you can then go and look at it and you can look at some of the other stuff. So now we've cleared out some of the negative stuff. Let's spend a couple of minutes doing the really positive tapping. You know, this is like my favorite bit, and I hope it's some of your favorite bit. I really am a good steward of money. I really am good with money. I can be a good steward of money. Money's not about me. My bank account's not about me. The money I earn doesn't say anything about me, because money is flow. I'm letting all of that go, because I'm a really, really good person. I'm a really good child to somebody. I am a really good parent or caregiver to somebody. I'm a really good employee, or I'm a really good boss. I'm a really good worker. I am great at my sport. Start to bring in some things for you. Start to bring in bits that work for you. All the good things that you are. All the good things that you are. Because you're a good person regardless of money. You may dress nicely. You might have great hair. You might have fabulous fashion sense. You might be good at running. You might be good at sport. You might be fabulous at cooking. You might be great at, I don't know, there's so many other things that we can all think of that we are great at. You may be a fabulous friend to somebody. Bring all of these words in. All of these words in to fill back in some good stuff. Let's fill some good stuff back in. Always want to fill the good stuff in. I'm an amazing person. You may be a fabulous writer, fabulous bike rider. You may be fabulous at cleaning. You may just love cleaning and be fabulous at that. You may be a really great parent to your kids. You might be fabulous at doing homework. I know you may keep your house really tidy. You may park your car really straight. Don't make it big things. Make it little things that you are really, really good at. You might be great at, I don't know, applying makeup. You might be great at coaching your kids' soccer team or football team. You might be really good at playing hoopball, basketball with your kids. You might be good at reading books. All the things that come up for you that you are good at, I want you to bring it to the forefront. Even if you're not sure if you're good at it, just say it anyway. Just say it anyway. Because all the things you don't think you're good at, you're saying anyway. Bring up the good stuff. Bring up the good stuff. I've made time for myself tonight. I've made time for myself this morning. I've done this work on myself right now. I've done it now. I've been present in the call, and I've done the work that I needed to do for me. I've made this about me. It's really, really good to do that. I'm proud of myself for doing that. Really proud of myself for doing that. Because I'm amazing. I am fabulous. I am a great person. I am worthy. I am happy. I am fulfilled. I am generous, kind, compassionate. I am sensible. I am, I don't know, bring some words up. Bring some words up. What other words have you got? Mine always defaults to I'm fabulous. I'm amazing. I'm caring, kind. I am sexy. I am healthy. I am spiritual. I am, what are they for you? Keep bringing them up. Keep bringing them up. Keep bringing them up. Keep bringing them up. So if you've got some words you want to type quickly into the chat box, please do that for me. I'm just going to go and pick up the, stick in there the website address so people have it. Now I'm wondering if I have the file still open. Yes, I do. Let me go and stick the questions in the questions box for you. Here it is. Oh, we just have to worry about my typo there. Doesn't matter. And here I am. I'll bring some of these questions in and I'll stick the questions in the question box so that you have them. Oops, is that going to work? All right, so there are some questions in the question box. See if I can make that work. Hit enter, does it go in? There are the questions in the questions box. So if you would like to continue to do more work on this after the call, all the questions are there. They're just straight out of what we've worked on today. I'd love to answer any questions if people have specific questions. Your SUDS level, your rating level, your 0 to 10 level, I expect will have come down. If it didn't, it means there's other triggers coming in. It means there's some other words coming in that maybe this global tapping didn't quite pick up for you. Remember again, if we have other topics that you want me to cover off, please do so. send me a private message to Lorna Hollinger or send it to the Australian Tapping Institute and just type in there. Please don't put it on Sarah's spiritual directory page or her spiritual events directory messenger, because Sarah's got enough to manage. Please try and get in touch with me. We are getting ready to do our sort of more positive tapping, our grounding back into our space tapping. So if you've got extra questions, the website has been popped into the box. There are some free courses that I offer that I'm inviting you to go and join in if you haven't already. The Self-Love Project is a tapping program, and it is, as it indicates, it's about getting more self-love into your life. It's quietening that negative inner critic of yours and getting your inner coach to come up in your head so that you can get more positive feelings about yourself. It is so there. There is the other one there, Your Life by Design, bit of tapping, bit of coaching. So if you're wanting to actually work through some other stuff with yourself, really great space to do that as well. Both free, both invited for you. Our practitioner training is EFT practitioner and life coaching. It is a global program. It is 100% online. So wherever you are in the world, if you're looking for great EFT training, come and get in touch with me. Our program, I believe, is amazing. Our students think it's amazing. And we have amazing students who have graduated through our school, now going off to do some fabulous building their own business and getting their own clients, not necessarily all full-time, some are part-time, but our practitioner training is a really good stepping stone and landing space, not even if you don't want your own business, but just to improve your own self and to prove your own, improve who you are and be better at who you are. It's a great little program. So please get in touch with me if that's of interest to you. We are going to finish up. We are going to do some grounding tapping. So we won't go back to the karate chop point. Fantastic, Patricia. Thank you. I love that. Yeah, supportive and compassionate, loyal friend. Excellent. And a great environment for kids. Get perfect. Do some tapping, everybody, 5 minutes when you get off the call, even on some really, really positive stuff about you, whether you do believe it or not. I don't care. We are all feeding our brains rubbish by saying we're not good enough anyway. We're making it up. So let's go and do some final tapping. Up on the eyebrow, I am at choice. I am at choice. I am aware. I'm having fun again. Playing it small is not for me. I am at choice in every moment. I am at choice. It's safe to change who I am. It's safe to look at my past. It's safe to look at everything that happened and feel safe now. I'm a grown-up. I'm an adult. Those things can't hurt me. I can change my patterns. I can change my beliefs because they're mine and I own them. I can change my patterns and my beliefs about anything. I can feel safe. I can feel safe and grounded. I can feel safe in my body. I can feel so safe because I got this. I got this right now. I'm a grown-up and I can manage this. Feeling safe, giving myself permission. I did the work. I'm going to do the work. Continue to build me. Continue to empower me. It feels safe. It now feels safe. It now feels safe. Feeling safe, feeling grounded, feeling safe and feeling grounded. I'm going to choose to feel safe right now. I'm going to choose to feel present. I'm going to choose to feel grounded. I'm going to choose to feel safe. I'm going to choose to feel grounded. Safe and grounded. Safe and grounded. My time is mine. My space is mine. Safe and grounded. 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 Take a big breath. Feel that energy flowing. Feel the energy moving. Feel it all moving through your body. As with each of the calls, I recommend to you, after the call, do 5 minutes of tapping or maybe something that triggered during the call, maybe something specific, some specific word or event kept popping up for you. Feel free to go and do some extra tapping on all of that and actually tap just on that one event. 5 minutes, set a timer on your phone. Don't worry about the words, just this event. this event, it can be that simple. You don't need to do the fancy words. You don't need to worry about the classes that I create, and I've got different language. I'm doing global tapping. You're going to do tapping on you. So it can simply be as safe. Do I feel safe? And think about that one event. 5 minutes every day. Imagine doing 5 minutes every day and getting rid of beliefs and limits. 5 minutes every day. Everyone's got 5 minutes. I don't care whether you go to the bathroom to do it. I don't care if you do it just when you get out of bed or before you go to bed. I don't care if you do it standing in the shopping centre line, wherever. If you're feeling inconspicuous, remember this is our go-to place. This is our collarbone space. There's 2 big meridians run through there on both sides. So if you're feeling a little bit inconspicuous, you can do this in public. It always just looks like you're just tapping away to music. You know, I do it on public transport. I do it in the car. I do it with people. If I'm finding I'm a little bit triggered and I'm in some sort of social setting, I'll kind of do this. And it's kind of slow. So whereas tapping, we tended to do this. In this space, you don't have to. You can just do this. Now, as I tell you in every class, remember, we pick up babies and we tap babies down the back. Guess what's down the back? Sets of meridians, energy meridians running down the back. We tap babies on the bottom. Same again, there are energy meridians running through this. So we know instinctively that it calms babies. So use it as a tool to calm you. You're still an energy human, so use the tapping here to do that. Now, if you're triggered at any point in time during your day or night, you just say, I am safe. I am safe while you tap here. If I am safe doesn't work, I am okay. Or I am fine. 3 words, that's all you've got to remember. All you've got to remember. I am safe is my go-to. That's what I tend to use when I'm triggered. And I find that it gets me over anything in that moment. It's really excellent for getting me through anything I need it to get me through in any given moment. So there's our go-to. So I'm going to be back here on, for me, it's Monday mornings at 9:30. For you, whatever time it started for you an hour ago in your time slot. This recording obviously stays in the Spiritual Events Directory page. So it certainly is something that you can come back to. And I would love for you to join me on my free courses that I offered. The website address is on there. Feel free to connect with me on Facebook. Feel free to join our mailing list and get some of our blogs or go and read the blogs of the Australian Tapping Institute. All about tapping, all about getting you relief and being able to use tapping in your everyday life to overcome every obstacle that you have. I am going to wish you a fabulous, fabulous day, evening or night, wherever you are. And thank you for joining me once again. And I will see you on the next call. So I'm just going to click buttons and try not to pull funny faces. And I will see you next time.